Okay, let's get started. This is the project review board meeting for Wednesday, December 9th. And we will start with the item 1, information exchange.
Hi, so the planning board is really the only update I have for you guys. They did have a meeting this month. They had a workshop with Freeport Economic Development Corporation about some potential ideas to bring some multifamily residential development to the village districts. So they talked about that this month. I think it will be a continued discussion at the next planning board meeting if anyone's interested in joining. It's different than past discussions. It does not include the same components as the previous parking lot redevelopment overlay district, but it does have some of the same ideas like addressing building height and getting rid of some land per dwelling unit standards. So again, that was the first of the discussions and I expect it to continue. And otherwise, I don't have anything else under info exchange.
Okay, thank you.
Guy, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Caroline, regarding that, I know some of us went to the project review board or the planning board meeting when that parking lot, I know we don't want to talk about that project, the parking lot overlay district came up. And with this new proposal, how can we, or should we not participate in any future discussion with the planning board? I'm not sure, kind of where the boundaries are for us.
Sure. Yeah, I think, there's been some other recent items that have sparked some interest from board members at the planning board level. However, they have pertained to an application. In this case, it's really just, a planning idea that is being discussed. It's not tied to a specific application. So if you wanted to participate on your own, I don't think that would be a conflict. We don't want anyone participating representing the thoughts of the board unless the board is able to discuss and come to some decision. At this point, we haven't seen actual language, so there's nothing really to bring to the board to discuss. If they were talking about altering things beyond space and bulk standards that, came under the purview, then I would definitely encourage them to reach out to PRB. But at this point, I don't feel like there's any conflict because there's not an actual application associated with the discussion.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, no other questions? Then let's move on to the second item, review of tabled items. And it's the Morse Street School site plan review. Caroline, I don't know if you wanted to give a quick synopsis of that application.
Sure. So you might remember that Dennis was back before you. I don't know, Dennis, was it pre-pandemic or was it via Zoom? I can't remember.
It was Zoom. It was Zoom.
It was Zoom.
Late, early August, maybe.
Okay.
Who knows? It's hard to remember, actually. Time goes by so fast.
So they were before you looking for approval to put a portable in an existing paved area on the site. Obviously, as school opened and the pandemic continued, the school had to alter the way they're doing their standard operations. So the area that previously was going to be the house to a portable structure is now space for outdoor classrooms. They actually have an area of their parking lot blocked off now that they are using for lines. And that area is where they're proposing to put this new portable structure. So at the end of the day, this one will replace the one that you previously approved. It's not in addition to. They aren't proposing any changes to parking. They had added some parking on the site when they did the track and field. So they actually have extra parking there, and they do take advantage of the shared parking in the nearby parking lots. It's already impervious area that sheds and ties into the existing drainage system. So they're not proposing any changes there. The one change from before is that this building will actually be connected to public utilities. So they did get sign off from the Freeport Sewer District. One thing I do want to clarify, if you look at the plan in your packet, it shows that they're displacing 4 parking places. It appears in the plan that one of them was ADA, but in fact, that is an old aerial photo. So they are displacing 4 parking places, but none of which are ADA. That will not be altered. Otherwise, I don't really think there's anything outstanding. No landscaping, only egress lighting. It's before you because it was over any of the thresholds size-wise for staff approval or staff review board approval. And you do have Dennis from the school. And sorry, Dennis, it does not look like anyone's interested because we have one audience member here, but otherwise we don't have anyone joining us.
Thank you. Dennis, do you have anything to add?
No, I'll be happy
Okay.
to answer any questions that you have.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
Thank you guys for meeting like this. It looked like a pretty light agenda, so I'm kind of thinking I had a lot to do with this. I appreciate it.
You have our full attention tonight.
Yeah. I appreciate you meeting so quickly like this. Thank you.
This is Ford. I have no questions.
Okay.
Guy, it's not really a question, but Caroline, you mentioned it would be connected to utilities, and now I look through and see the sewer letter, but in the staff report, it says utilities, the building will not be connected to public water or public sewer. So that probably just needs to get corrected.
Yes,
Okay,
we
sorry.
do want to correct that. Thank you for catching that. So I think under, you'd want to make the change under your finding for F utilities. You would want to note that the building will be connected to the public water and public sewer system. Typically, we would further note that a copy of a capacity letter from the Freeport Sewer District has been included in the submission. Maine Water does not require, they don't issue capacity letters for small changes in operations. So that's why you only see one from the sewer district.
I had a question. Maybe I missed it, but what is the expected lifespan or term of this building there? And are there any limitations code-wise that we need to be aware of, given its temporary nature?
I think I think 2 or 3 years at the very most. I don't know of any code issues. That would be a Caroline thing, I think. Right, Caroline?
As far as the only code issues would be building permit wise, I believe you do have a condition per Nick that was his understanding that the building would require approval from the state fire marshal.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that's a suggested condition.
But given its temporary nature, there aren't other issues involved. At some point it needs to turn into a permanent building, or
We look at these buildings like a permanent structure, although they have a temporary use typically in the school facilities. Technically, temporary structures aren't permitted. So I believe they're constructed under some different codes where they're portable created structure, for lack of better terminology, but he's going through the process, getting the applicable sign-offs, and will get applicable permits as would any other structure in Freeport. He's not
Okay.
exempt from anything because he may not be there forever. And sometimes we issue these things come and we think they're going to be here for a short period, and sometimes they stay longer, so they have to meet whatever codes are applicable. Did that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yeah. So, but from an ordinance standpoint, we don't have something that addresses these portable structures.
Yeah, he doesn't fall under like any temporary ordinances or anything like that we have going on right now. So no, we treat him as any other structure.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Like a motion?
Do we want to see if anybody from the public wants to comment? And then Ford, we'll let you have a motion.
Nobody wanted to comment?
So we have a member of staff present, but I think they're just here observing. It's Cecilia, our assistant planner. I don't see anybody else in the audience that wants to comment on the application.
Okay.
I would move as follows, with an order that would be worded, be it ordered that the Freeport Project Review Board approve the printed findings of fact amended in subparagraph F to state that the building will be connected to public sewer, public water, and a site plan amendment for Regional School Unit number 5 for the installation of a modular classroom building at Moore Street School to be built substantially as proposed, plans dated November 2020, finding that it meets the standards of the Freeport zoning ordinance with the following conditions of approval. 1, this approval incorporates by reference all supporting plans that amend the previous approved plans submitted by the applicant and his or her representatives at the Project Review Board meetings and hearings on the subject application to the extent that they are not in conflict with other stated conditions. And 2, prior to the start of any work for the project, the applicant obtained a building permit from the Freeport Code Enforcement Officer and approval from the State Fire Marshal's Office.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Geraldine. Roll call vote. Blanchard, yes. Campanelli,
Yes.
Reiki,
Yes.
Troidel,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Yankee.
Yes.
Thank you. Unanimous.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Thank
Dennis.
you.
Thanks.
I really appreciate it. Okay,
All right. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is persons wishing to address the board on non-agenda items. Do we have anybody that would like to do that?
I'll just say one thing before you guys adjourn. So I just want to thank you for having this special meeting. We had a notification error. The school has some funding they need to use by the end of the month. So this really was a time sensitive application. So I know we threw in a site walk and an extra meeting. So I just want to thank you all for volunteering a second Wednesday, because we'll be back here next week. You do have another meeting for which you already should have received the
Yes.
agenda. Did anybody not receive the proper link for today's meeting? I know Geraldine didn't receive it last night when I entered them. Did anyone else have that situation?
Got it.
Got it.
The link. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I keep having repeat problems. So if you feel like you haven't gotten one within 24 hours of the next meeting, feel free to reach out to me directly.
Yeah. The one for tonight's came at 4:45 for me.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
didn't get the one last night?
Mm.
Okay,
Mine
I got
came
one.
today.
I
okay,
got mine at 10:30 last night, and then at 4:45 today, I got another.
all right, that's interesting. Adam, I think it actually deleted your address, so I manually typed you. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. So that was actually really helpful. That only Adam and I got them last night and nobody else did. I think I know how to troubleshoot that. So thank you.
Sure.
Well, Caroline, I think we speak for us all. Good luck in quarantine.
Oh, I am out of quarantine, but the 4-year-old is in quarantine. So
Oh,
let's see, one more week.
Jeez.
So
Okay. Is
Motion to-
there, yeah, motion to adjourn? Is there?
so moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Okay. Roll call vote. Blanchard, yes. Campanelli,
Yes.
Reiki,
Yes.
Troidel,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Yankee.
Yes.
All right. We are adjourned.
So, wait, Guy, you were on track to have the shortest meeting ever, 2 years.
Yeah.
The roll call vote made it 17 minutes and you only tied the shortest meeting.
Oh gosh, I apologize.
hey, in his defense, I think we started a few minutes late.
Oh, here we go. Loopholes,
There we
loopholes.
go. There we go.
Have a good
See
evening,
everybody next
everybody.
week.
All right, and thank you
Thank you.
everybody for coming to the site walk today. I appreciate it.
That was good.
Yep, have a